Welcome back to The Awakening. The architects are waiting. The TRAPPIST-D Odyssey, the transmissions of Group Omega. Emil noticed it, his voice whimper. They're watching through the ink. He pointed to the far wall. He beat his head again. Emil spun around, eyes wild. The child is in the walls. It's singing. Cut off by a wet crunch as he bit his tongue. But I don't hear anything other than you and John. I dug my nails into my palms at what the future showed me. Broken images, flashes of my future self, knife in hand, Kathy's throat beneath it, overlaid with John's eyeless chanting. I rocked, telling myself, stay present, stay here, stay now. The black ink from my eyes crawled toward the floating debris, forming new glyphs. Cold wind blasted her bones, but the air, stale, tomb-like. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Emil cupped his hands around his ears, but the sound in his head didn't stop. I'm not next, he sobbed. It whispered, the architects need 7 more, 1 for each world. Despite all of us falling apart, John read the next page. His voice and mind strained. His voice didn't stop. The journal's pages fused to his fingertips, skin peeling like wet paper. The journal's blood-smear footnote reshaped into a crude eye. It blinked. A new sentence appeared beneath Gamma 7's last words. The architects are never late. You were bid to be on time. He read faster as something was chasing his words. Page 4, the torn photograph. Caption only. TRAPPIST-D colonization team. 1987 left to right. Dr. Hart. Redacted. Redacted. Subject Gamma 1. See how it smiles. Kathy contorted again, her body writhing, her jaw unhinged with a wet pop. The innocuous words tore out of her, but beneath them a child's voice whimpered. Mommy, why does Teddy have so many teeth now? Sarah choked back tears. She snatched the picture from John's fingers. She stared at the photo, looking from left to right, trailing her fingers, taking in the faces of the people. How could a photo do that? When she touched Gamma 1, she shook her finger. That burned me. Gamma 1 smiled, stretched, consuming the other faces like wet paper. The gleaming teeth on teeth. Their glyphs, identical to the obsidian block. Sarah bit her own wrist so hard it bled. Blood dripped onto the photo. The glyph teeth drank it eagerly. As Emil balled up both of his fists and slammed the glass in the cabinet, cutting himself, bloody shards hovered and rearranged into the doorway. A perfect rectangle of darkness, reflecting not him, a child's face with blackened eyes, and Gamma 1's smile. The reflection mouthed, You're next, Emil. It's not me! Not me! Emil, wide-eyed, gawked at the reflection in the cabinet's jagged, broken glass doors. Stop grinning at me! Emil, stop! You'll cut yourself! My words meant nothing. The shards rearranged midair into a doorway. It's not possible. I grabbed the photo from Sarah, her mouth bloody, the young woman in the photo. I've seen her before. This woman was my doctor. I pondered why this woman in the photo. She looked younger, about 30 years. I remember my last appointment with Dr. Hart. She injected me with a black fluid. She said something that didn't make sense then, but is now being well understood. Hart's whisper words. You'll dream of TRAPPIST-D soon. I leaned into the table, knocking over the vial of black fluid. The caption rewrote itself. Dr. Evelyn Hart, Architect Liaison. John studied a loose page from the journal, stiff and rigid. He discarded it. The colorful paper wafted to the floor. Page 5. Child's drawing. Crayon on letterhead. A stick figure family labeled Mommy, Daddy, Me. But the herons have too many eyes, and the child floats above a black planet, scribbled with the same glyphs as the block. John sounded garbled, compressed, and thick. The sound of his baritone voice ripped through the room as he read the next subject, a child, innocence lost. Beneath, in an adult's handwriting, subject Delta 12, 8-6. Drew this before assimilation. Terminated per protocol, cleansing fire. Kathy gazed at the colorful paper, drawn to it. She grabbed it from the floor. "Kathy, don't!" I screamed too late. I heard the crunch of her bones when she hit the floor. She balled up in the last little child's voice. "Mommy, why does Daddy have so many teeth now?" I ran over to her, cradled her, her tongue black and crackling like dried parchment. She vomited a thick, syrupy black fluid. The puddle twisted into the same glyphs as the journal. Two voices, both whined. Kathy's in a choral whisper. "We're the matches. They're going to burn us to light the way." The black fluid hissed like grease on a skillet. Distorted, inverted lullaby, like a music box underwater, as the black puddle reflected not the room, but a place I'd never seen, planet's surface, pulsing like a heartbeat. Kathy trembled in my arms. I rocked back and forth. She didn't just hear the journal. She felt every death recorded in it. Emil calmly walked over to us. He tore the paper from Kathy's grasp. "Look!" Emil's hands aged rapidly as he touched the drawing. Wrinkles, liver spots, then regression? His body shrank to a child's size, but his shadow stayed an adult shape. His voice a broken whisper. "They made me pack, but I chose wrong." For 10 seconds he became Delta 12, whispering, "They made me pick which parent to keep." He vomited dark green bile and baby teeth, each tooth inscribed with a glyph. Sarah came closer to us. She stood at the feet of Kathy. "Give it to me, Emil." Sarah's timid voice and tears in her eyes held out her hand. The crayon drawing animated in her hands. The stick figure parents crawled out of the page, their many eyes weeping ink. She tossed the paper on the table and frantically searched the desk. "What are you looking for, Sarah?" I kept my tone mild and even. "Found it. A little blue lighter." She flicked it a few times. It combusted with a blue flame. She thrust the drawing into the flame, attempting to burn the drawing, but the flames turned black and cold, freezing the air around it. I wanted out of this chamber, out of these horrific memories. I turned to the obsidian block, still in open position, the glyphs on the block repeated in the black puddle. I glimpsed Trappisti's surface, and it's covered in identical labs. Beaten. I sank to my knees, whispering, "We're not the first. We're just the last." John's lips moved, but the words weren't his. "Subject gamma ocular nerves manifested the glyphs within 6 hours of exposure," he recited. Voice flat as a dead channel. "The subject begged for blindness. Request denied." The journal's margins squirmed, not ink, veins. Thin black tendrils crept toward John's wrist. John turned to the last page of the Book of Death, the final page, the shaky hand, and a whisper. "It isn't paper. It's skin. Human. Tattooed with glyphs." He peeled it back and revealed. "Welcome home, Group Omega. You've always been a part of the experiment." The Awakening Psychic Odyssey, a mind-bending thriller podcast. Subscribe and binge all episodes now. Follow Andrea Allen Writer on Facebook and TikTok, Andrea A. Writer on Instagram for more clues. For exclusive content and more twisted tales, join the Paradox Files on Substack. Link in bio. Share with a friend. Why not be scared together?